Would y'all please stand? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico. This is a symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank y'all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Here.
Mr. Sandoval?
Here.
And Mr. Primrose?
Here. Next is approval of the agenda, so there won't, don't know of any additions or deletions. Anybody have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Were there any requests for public comment?
No.
Okay. Next is approval of the minutes. The first is the regular board meeting for July the 15th. Has everybody had a chance to review those minutes, or is there any additions or deletions? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of July 15th.
Second.
A roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next, Dr. Moss gave us the meeting, the minutes for the special board meeting we had July 29th with state auditor. Everybody had a chance to review those. Is there any additions or deletions? not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. I don't have anything to report today. We'll move on to the president's report.
Okay. You all have my report. I don't have my report, but
It's a good one.
well, and I can't even remember what's on it.
You can put it,
First day of
Put it up
fall
there.
classes. Oh, that's all right. It's on my.
should be on the agenda. His report, Dr. Moss's report.
So the only updates, we have hired two more people for our business office. One started today. The other one will start in about a week and a half, I think like around September 2nd. We are in the process of hiring a new executive assistant for me and you all, and hoping to start that person September 2nd. I don't know of much other updates. The 24 audit is still, I know there were a couple questions on the foundation. Some numbers weren't coming out right. Right now, I know I've told you all, we're still working on some consulting assistance. We're not able to use Miss Sharma right now because ERB said we're not able, that she wasn't qualified for a contractor. We think we went through the RFP process. We're resubmitting that, and we're hoping to get her back in the next week. Report of actuals is due September 15th, and it would be a great help to have her assistance on that. What else? The semester started yesterday. I think it's a little early to tell exact, but I think our numbers on campus are up a little bit, which is great. And Josh probably talk more about that. I know when I come in Monday, wasn't long and the parking lots were pretty full at times, and that's always a good sign. Insurance. So a couple dates to keep in mind. The HLC conference HLC visit. They'll get here Sunday, September 21st. They'll be here the 22nd and 23rd, and leave on the 24th, which is Wednesday. We haven't got the schedule yet, but they're scheduling a dinner with you all on Monday evening, the 22nd. That will be just you all and the team from HLC. Then I think, again, we don't have the schedule yet, but probably sometime around noon the next day would be, they would want to meet with like the finance and audit committee, which I think would be Mr. Primrose and Ms. Stevenson. Also need to remember to send out probably that notice that if you all are if there's more than two of you going to be at the dinner Monday night, that there's no board business conducted. Mr. Edwards isn't here. He probably has a better handle on the schedule. Also, September 8th and 9th, we will have a mock visit. And so basically what that is Mr. Sanderson, who's been consulting us for our HLC visit, he and a couple other people who are HLC peer reviewers, not a part of the team that's coming to see us, but do work in that area. They'll be coming those 2 days, and the idea is to put us through basically whatever we should expect from the HLC team. And so I don't have a time set up, but I think at some point in there, there should be a time where they would visit with you all. And again, this is just kind of help you guys prepare to know what to expect from them, questions they might ask, things like that. So that's September 8th and 9th. And when I get the time, I'll get that schedule out to you as soon as I can. HLC, Dr. Edwards sent out the assurance state agreement. Did you all get that? It went out to all employees. So encourage you to review that. Doesn't mean everybody has to know every single thing in there, but that's what our committees from all our staff and faculty produced. And so that's what we put in our argument. As closely as we know, that's what we're doing. And so we want, one of the worst answers that could come up is somebody to say, we don't do that, or I don't know anything about that. Anyway, we'll get into that later. So those are important dates to remember. Did submit our paperwork. The legislature approved the $450,000 to cover our nursing for last year and this year, and $300,000 for equipment for CDO and truck driving. Got that submitted. Ms. Mossius with DFA said she's submitted it, and we should expect the money at any time. So that's more funds on our cash balance and position. Obviously, what we have to spend the equipment money. I think this year, or at least by the end of next year, the money for nursing is kind of almost like our expenses last year and some of this year. We know we'll spend $500,000 to $600,000 on our nursing program as a whole, so that's not an issue, even with the $250,000 RPSP money coming in. So anyway, that's exciting. We do have some bills that need to be paid for 25, like the audit, special audit, the 24 audit, the majority of that. All that will go under 25, and we have already got the reimbursement from HED. So we are done with the special appropriation and the State Board of Finance funding. We are completely on our own now. And I think, which is fine. I think we've been good for a while. But now when we do the quarterly financial report, we don't have to check off that number one after this one. We can say, no, we didn't get any early appropriation money. So that's exciting. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but if you all have any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Dr. Moss on this report? If not, we'll continue with update from the nursing program.
Oh, let me introduce Ms. Shannon Freeze. Sorry, had to find my place. Ms. Freeze is our Director of Nursing. She serves under our academic wing, and I really just wanted her to give an update on where we're at, where we've been, where we're at, where she sees us going. I'll let her. I won't say anything because then I might take away from something she's going to say. So I'll leave it with her.
Okay, so as you probably already know, we started our nursing program in January of 2023. We've had two cohorts, graduating cohorts. The first one was in December 2024. We had 5 students graduate then. All 5 of them went on to successfully complete test for the NCLEX, which is the national exam that nurses have to take. All 5 of them took it and passed it on the first try. So for the State Board of Nursing, the requirement is that all nursing programs have an 80% first-time pass rate. So at that point, we had 100% first-time pass rate, which was awesome. The second group graduated in May. We had 4 students graduate in that group. And we had 3 of them passed on their first try. We had 1 student that didn't pass until her second try. So that leaves us at an 89% pass rate, which is still respectable. Unfortunately, that student had some personal health issues and some family issues that she probably shouldn't have tried to test the first time she was scheduled, but she did, and she didn't do well. But it's okay, she passed on the second try, so the important part is that all 9 of our students that have graduated have passed their NCLEX, and all of them have went on to get jobs. So that's good news. Right now, we have 40 total students. So we have 13 that we're hoping will all graduate in December of 2025. So that's our level 4 students. In level 3, we have 10 students. They'll graduate in May of 26. We have 5 in level 2. They'll graduate in December of 26. And then our new cohort that just came in, we filled our cohort with 12 students. That's our, right now, that's kind of our cap, is 12 students per cohort. So we were able to fill that one. We did have 16 students that applied, or 16 potential students, and we took 12. So the other 4 are hoping to get in January. We do have, this time around, we have 1 dual student, so she is still a high school student, but she is 18. So that's the first time that we've had a dual high school student. I think she's a really good candidate for that position because she's a really good student, very mature for being still in high school, and so I have really high hopes for her. Let's see what else was I going to tell you. We are in the midst of doing our accreditation cycle. So what the New Mexico State Board of Nursing requires is that within 2 years from your first graduating class that you are at least in the process of getting your accreditation. We, like I said earlier, had our first class graduate in December of 24. We have achieved candidacy status, and that's kind of the first step. So we're a candidate. The next step is that we do a full site visit along with the State Board of Nursing. So ASIN is the accrediting body that we're going through. There's a couple of different accrediting bodies that you can go through, but ASIN is the one we're going to go through. That's the Accreditation Commission for Education and Nursing is what ASIN stands for. We're hoping to have our site visit in fall of 2026. And again, the State Board of Nursing will also come and conduct a site visit at the same time. That's generally the way they do it the first time around. If we do get that full approval through that process, they usually grant you a 5-year the first time, and then the second time you get an 8-year. So hopefully, after we get through the first one, then we'll continue on to get 8-year approvals. Right now, we have 3 full-time instructors. All of our full-time instructors have bachelor's level degrees. They will all have to have master's level degrees at some point. They have 5 years from the date that they start with us or get their bachelor's degree to complete their master's degree, and that's dictated by the State Board of Nursing. So we have 2 of them that are currently in a master's program and 1 that is planning to start a master's program soon. We have 5 adjunct faculty. One of those faculty teaches lecture for us. The other 4 are all clinical instructors, so they go to the hospitals with our students. The facilities that we're using for clinical right now are BSA in Amarillo, the hospital in Clovis, the hospital in Clayton, and the psychiatric facility in Las Vegas. So that's where all of our students go to clinical right now. We are going to unfortunately lose one of our adjunct instructors at the end of this semester because she is completing her family nurse practitioner schooling, and so she's gonna want to go work as a family nurse practitioner instead of being a clinical instructor. So she's gonna go do that, so we need to replace her. And we're also gonna need to hire one more clinical instructor for the Las Vegas facility because we'll have too many students next semester, hopefully. The plan is that we'll have too many students to do it with our current faculty. The State Board of Nursing does say that we can only send 8 students with 1 instructor. So as long as we have more than 8 students, we right now send both level 1s and level 2 students to the Las Vegas facility. And next semester, we're hoping to have a full 24 students going to that facility. So we'll need 3 instructors instead of just 2. We are also looking to hire a CNA instructor and a phlebotomy instructor so that we can continue or start again to offer those 2 programs. When we do that, the hope is that we'll be able to support CNA and phlebotomy in some of the outlying areas like Clayton and Roy and Mascaro and the other one that I can never remember the name of. But hopefully we'll be able to have those programs available to those areas as well. And Santa Rosa, and we'll have students in Santa Rosa, and they won't have to necessarily come here. So that's what we're kind of looking for in the future, is to hire those positions for that. Anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Priest? Congratulations on it.
Thank you.
Success that you-
Yeah, we're doing good. We're happy. We're pretty happy with how well our students are doing. We're pretty proud.
It's a great
Thank you.
start and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you.
Update on our small business.
Yes, so I asked Mr. Nathan Krakula, I'd like, some of our programs I'd like to have more regular updates to the board. SBDC, maybe not every month, and it's not necessarily a college program, but we definitely have a good partnership with the Small Business Development in New Mexico, and so I'd just like him to kind of give an update on what he's done, where we're going, things like that.
Thank you for letting me present to the board here. Our SBDC here at Tubular is really unique in contrast to the other SBDCs in the state. So I've been given a little bit of freedom that other SBDCs don't have. So I've engaged with numerous businesses outside the state to bring them here. So this January, our first business that we'll be working with is the America's Pepper Company. They're going to be coming here to Tucumcari. They're looking to buy property for growing their peppers. Currently, they're getting their peppers from Las Cruces, New Mexico, and transporting them to California. So they're going to be moving them here instead of California. So that's one cool thing. That company is part of a larger company called Insignis, which is 4 or 5 different other companies. And all of those companies will be moving to Tucumcari. First company is the pepper company, but the other ones will be coming shortly. Another thing that we've got going on is this year we are getting accredited. The SBDC is an education body, so we have national accreditation that's going on right now. So in October, our center will be accredited or inspected by national accreditors. They are SBDC directors, and the lieutenant director for the SBA will be coming here to Tucumcari. So that's kind of cool that our accreditation for the college and for the SBD is at the same time. The other cool thing that we got going on, we've been trying to engage in the community to get small businesses in the community recognized by other people and other groups in the community. I don't know if you guys know what Art City is. What I'm planning at Art City, and Maddie Moe, the owner of that, is gonna help us with that. We're gonna do a food truck thing. So we've got a bunch of food trucks in the community that are slowly building up reputation in the community. Some of them have moved on to opening up full-fledged restaurants. So what we're planning is to get food trucks from around the community, Clovis, Santa Fe, to come in and some vans and have an opportunity for people to come in and see all those food trucks, what they do, that kind of thing, and then engage in the community and kind of B2B stuff, if that makes sense. Overall, the SBDC is, we've been closed down for a few years because of Vicky passing away, so we're slowly building that reputation up, getting out into the community. I think I've put 1,000 business cards out. I'm traveling to Clayton a couple times already. Dr. Moss and I went there, spoke at Rotary. So it's just rebuilding that reputation, getting it out to the community. I'm excited about the companies coming here. I think that will be good for the community job-wise. But again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
I've had some inquiries if the SBC could help a small company or organization with QuickBooks.
Yes.
Is that an educational thing that
we
you
have-
folks could help them with?
Okay, in the state of Mexico, we have 19 centers, and in those centers, we have different skilled. QuickBooks is not my background. I come from a clinical pathology background, so I have a different background. But we have experts that have different skill sets like QuickBooks and taxes and different things that we can provide training on that and also help with that. So if someone's got a QuickBooks nightmare, I can connect them with someone to help them with that.
My wife wants to talk to you. She's tough to live with, I'll tell you, when it's trying to do QuickBooks.
We've got a lady out of Roswell, New Mexico, that's just excellent with QuickBooks, and I send everyone to her because it's a nightmare for me.
Now, one thing I'm happy that you're bringing business into Tucumcari because Tucumcari doesn't want to grow.
So when I took on this position, I could go out in the community and get any number of people to start a business, but they would fail within 6 months to a year, right? The infrastructure that this town needs to create those small little mom and pop businesses is not here. So we need larger corporations to come in, build houses, bring people in to go to the restaurants. There's a lot of work that has to happen to build that niche, and all of that will support this college. The group Insignis, they have a pretty large contract with Amazon, and they want to do 3D metal printing here. So that could be a whole new educational piece for the college. So there's just a lot of good stuff, I need your support and all that, and thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Well, we do. We appreciate your work, and
Yeah.
we definitely need some economic development around it.
I believe so.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Next is the New Mexico HED Quarterly Financial Report.
So I already mentioned this in my report. This is something we're gonna have to keep doing, maybe even beyond our EFOP status. Even if we get out of that, we may still have to submit this, but again, the good news is we're not gonna be using the special appropriation funds, which really, those funds we weren't able to use those in our daily operations. They were for specific things like catching our audits up, implementing Genzabar, the special audit, things like that. So, we won't carry that anymore. So this will be the last one that we should have to check number 1 on. And then the goal is to keep all those others as no's as well. And the longer we do that, I think the more likely that at some point we'll get moved off the EFOP status.
Well, I hope so. I hope get rid of the one yes, and the next one will be all have no. So, are there any questions for this financial report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So, on this, after next month, well, we don't have to put yes there anymore, right?
Right, so that number one is basically saying, did the college request any advance or supplemental funding? And so, we won't have access to that anymore. And so there's no point in us asking for it. Doesn't mean we can't, ask for a special appropriation for a project, a new program we're starting, or a new RPS program. It just means that the next one we do will be in November, I think, for the first quarter of this year. And basically that means July, August, September, we didn't have to ask the state for any special or early appropriation to get by. So that's the one that
That would be good.
should, and that'll make the report shorter. It should just be 2 pages instead of that other supplemental description page.
Well, and like you said in the questions, we didn't use all the funds that were available to us.
Yeah.
I
I think the estimate, and it's not broken out between State Board of Finance and the HB2 funds, but I think it was like $1,040,000 total that we did not use from that. So that'll be going back to State Board of Finance some, and the rest back into the general fund of the state or whatever.
That should speak highly of where Mesalands has come from. And we're able to give that
Yeah.
amount back and not having to use it to get out of the hole with. So
Yeah.
that's good.
So, if any other questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the fourth quarter financial report.
I so move.
Second,
On a motion and a second, roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next is this strategic direction 2024 through 2026.
I had given you all that, I think, last month to look at. This is basically, it's for our HLC visit, but it's really just to say, in a sense, we're still in recovery in many ways, but here's our plans. Here's kind of what we're looking at. Here's when we plan on starting the strategic planning, which I think would begin possibly as soon as this next spring, because Lord willing, we'll have the HLC out of the way. We'll be caught up on our audits, and we can actually focus on getting, the staff, faculty, students, community, you all's input, and then developing that strategic plan. We just haven't had the time to set aside for that yet. So no changes to what you all saw last month, but I would like your approval on this, so we have record that you all have seen it and had a chance to comment on it.
I do have a question on it, and it's not that I'm against it, but it appears that it's real flat through 28.
Mhm.
And we're planning for extra enrollment and so forth. So should we not see a little increase in these figures, or what's the thought process in this? I'm trying to just
No, that's a great
understand.
question. That's a great question. So you would like to think that if our enrollment increased by 30% over the next 2 years, that our funding would go up as well. But that's not the way the funding works in New Mexico.
Okay.
And I know Mr. McVeigh and I have talked to HED, we'd love for someone to explain to us the funding formula. And basically the answer we get is, your funding is what it is. If the state adds 4% next year, you get 4% more. If we drop to 5 students, they might close us down, but that doesn't change our funding. Now, if they add new money, it might change it a little, because they'll take that new money they add to it and distribute it according to like the degrees you offer or the certificates or completions. So it's not going to move very much yet.
So we need
that's as
need
good
to
an
talk
answer
to
as I can give you.
Representative, chat and Phil a little bit and have him give us a little education course on that maybe, You would think there would be some incentive to grow your enrollment, and you would have the funds to do it.
Yeah, there is a little, but it's not like, if we went up 50%, then our overall funding is going to go up 50%. It's going to be a fraction of that, because it's only going to be what they add to the base. Mr. McVeigh.
Well, it's something that I had noticed a while back was if you look at the enrollment between us and Luna. So Luna's yearly income, or what they get, is about roughly 11 million. What we get is 5 million. And if you look at the enrollment numbers, that they're pretty similar. And that was where my question developed from.
Yeah.
Was why is it they have twice as much funding than we do, but yet our enrollment numbers are pretty close.
So yes, it is something that we want to bring up with our legislators. The timing, though, is also critical.
Sure.
At what point do we do that? Because, for the last year and a half or two, it's been, we got to get things in order and get our house right and stuff. But I think we're getting close to that time. We're okay now. And I'll also say Mr. McVeigh and Mr. Wickham, our IT director, have done a lot of work in shoring up our data, and Mr. McVeigh's staff, Ms. Gonzalez and some others. And so we feel like our numbers right now are more accurate than they've been in 5-6 years, at least. And so as we get those shored up and we know those are right, then we can go to the legislature and say, okay, our numbers are within 10% of Luna or whatever, and yet they're being funded at a higher rate. Another part of that is the state is also looking at the funding formula. HED did a study this last year and a half. We haven't gotten hardly any information from it, but the purpose of that is they want to look at the formula and how they're funding and what needs to change. And so I hope it doesn't happen this year, because I don't think they have the information they need, but possibly within the next 2 years, we may get a completely different formula, and that would probably set us at a different track too. So, yeah, no, that's a good
That's
point
good.
though.
Yeah. They don't want to over budget.
Right.
They're
Right.
being very conservative, but whenever we show a trend of increase, then hopefully we'll get some additional funding.
A lot of these numbers too, 2 years ago when HED was here, we had no idea. We really didn't know where we were at that point, and we sure didn't know 2 years down the road. And so now at least we can conservatively say, we expect at least this much. And I think it'll go up, and we'll maybe get some more supplemental funding. But yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions on this strategic direction?
Good jobs. Let's bring business in, or somebody.
Any-
Citizens sleep, they don't wake up, they don't want to do nothing. They just say no to everything.
We're going to keep pushing them.
Good. I
Yeah.
pushed them as hard as I could till I got out,
Yeah.
till they got me out.
Yeah.
Then I asked me why, but
It's exciting knowing that this year we're already getting, that funding that we haven't seen in a couple of years. That we're we may already have it, but that we're getting that $300,000 to purchase a new truck and trailer and start our CDL program again. That we're getting $50,000 or 40 or 50,000 to go toward our wind program and equipment. And so that's just going to. I think we're just starting to see the growth in our programs, not just the existing, but some new ones too. So,
Because I noticed, I sit on my front porch and I see the cars go by, but I never see the city manager go by.
Yeah.
In my yard, now not my yard, but the streets are full of weeds. They're taller than I am. I see the city trucks go by and stuff, but nobody stops to cut the weeds or nothing.
Any other questions on the direction? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Just looking at this, say focus near-term enrollment efforts on priority programs, so you've got them listed. What about HVAC, welding, things like that? Is there anything in this strategic planning that would, there would be a place for that?
I can't remember what's in this document versus others. I know, this will be the first year we have a full-time welding instructor on campus. Welding, metalworking, and so even though we don't have detailed plans of what that's going to look like, we're already having conversations with some of the high schools to supplement any welding that they have with our program. Take San Juan, for instance. I mentioned I'd visit with them. They're bringing in a second ag teacher, which from my experience in Missouri, I was lucky to have one, and I had 1,000 kids in my school. But they're also bringing in at least a part-time, maybe welding person or to do something else but has welding experience. And so we're having conversations with them about how can we supplement what they can offer there. So welding is one. Mr. Kaiser has had at least conversations with, and I'll let him talk about that more if you want. On HVAC, we only have really one main contractor here in town, but how can we develop that? Plumbing, we've also had some conversations with at least one staff member about potential building trades. He's got a lot of experience in that. So that's where, when we do the strategic plan, then it gets more detailed on what programs. State auditor said back a couple of weeks ago, I think he said this, it was that some of the mistakes that were made were trying to do a whole bunch of stuff at once and expecting enrollment to keep up with it. And it didn't do that. So we have to just be strategic on that. What's the biggest need? What do we have the resources to support? Okay, then once we see that's working, okay, then we can move on to the next thing.
Okay.
So really our HLC visit, I think the message we need to give to them is we're still, like I said, we're still kind of in recovery, but we are looking to the future on how to build. So.
Yeah, for sure the trade's important.
Yeah, I think that's our future.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next is purchase requisitions. Jimmy. The first requisition is 118,471 for Genzabar, annual license fee of $150,000.
And this is for an annual license fee to use Genzabar.
And most everybody's getting trained on Genzabar now. Are they getting some?
Have we gotten all the training that we probably need? No, but We did a lot of training, like enrollment, registration, business office. So long term, because one of the problems with the training is we're trying to keep the day-to-day stuff up, trying to catch everything up, and then on top of that, let's learn Genzabar. And so, you could only spend so much time training. What I want to see for the next several years is make sure we have enough money set aside that if we see a need for any Genzabar training, it's expensive, but we can do that, and also send anywhere from 2 to 5 people maybe every year to the annual Genzabar conference. We've seen value in that the past 2 years that we went. So I think that those are connections that we dropped. And maybe it wasn't even full training when they were here. But
Well, and got Genzabar, we're getting trained in Genzabar, so we've continued to go with.
we can't. I mean,
Jump
somebody
ship.
said when all this happened, why don't you just go to a different system right now? Well, the problem was, our numbers were so bad, that would have just multiplied it 20 times if we tried to switch systems. So I think Genzabar, is it the best system out there? No. Is the majority of the problem our lack of training in the program? I think so, because there are a lot of colleges and places across the U.S. that use this system. So I think, that's what we're mentioned. I may have mentioned this. We're looking at adding a module for retention. The more things we incorporate with Genzabar into our system, we move payroll back to it, the easier stuff's going to flow back and forth. And so,
Would you think we're halfway there, 3/4 of the way there, as far as fully being trained? I know we'll probably never reach over 90%, right?
my answer to that would be we don't know what we don't know.
Oh.
But Mr. McVeigh or Mr. Kaiser might have a better, or even Mr. Martinez might have a better answer toward that. I would say we're maybe 60 or 70% proficient in Genzabar. I don't even know how to put a number on that.
But over 70%, I think. I mean, we're getting a lot better at our data proficiency and ensuring that everything's accurate and entered correctly. I think the little issues that we're having are ensuring little details that are being completed correctly, or that we know how to do them well. Those are about the only things that are giving us hangups. I would even say maybe 80%. I mean, it's getting close.
It may vary between departments.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's good, because when I first started on the board in 2012, they had just started using Genzabar. So I hope we're getting close to the 100.
And part of what helps that too is this: what we're doing with institutional research is we're doing the EG report, and Larry and I are going through the red field reports, which means that if there's a field that's not filled out, it's red. So there's a lot of fields that you could fill out potentially, but you try to be as efficient as possible and only choose what you need to fill out within the data sets. So basically what we're saying is that as we're going through and looking in detail, what does this tie to in the data? So what does this field tie to in the data that we're trying to collect? And when we understand each field and category, that helps us understand how the data is tied in, and then what we need to ensure we're being complete and complete on filling out. I hope that makes sense.
And it helps in reporting too. Anytime you want to pull a report, whether it's student information or business, if the data is not correct, then what do you get? And so as they're cleaning up the data and seeing those areas that maybe we've missed over the last 5-6 years, Genzabar is going to become more and more functional, I think. And, I know you all remember 2 years ago, Blanca used to say all the time, I can't use Gingibar to generate reports. Well, that's not accurate. It may have been accurate to her knowledge at the time, but there are ways to pull those reports. You just got to know how to do them. And we're still going to be spending the next couple years learning what we don't know.
Well, you'll never quit.
No,
The companies will
I'm going
force
to
you
quit at some point.
to keep learning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But no, you'll never. It's always going to change and
Yeah.
adjust.
ever
So,
software's evolving.
Yes, every evolving. That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve Gingibar requisition 118,471.
So,
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
yes,
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and Mr. Primrose.
Yes. Next is Sheridan Wealth. And
So again, this is our second payment to Sheridan Wealth. And I know, this is gonna total around 140,000 that we've paid them. But again, this goes back to Mr. Box bringing up that article in Trustees Quarterly. We were able to apply for, I think we netted around 800,000 from that ERC credit, and that's money that can go right back into our reserves that we didn't have, that can be used for whatever the college or the board deems appropriate. And so, that's just part of the agreement. Whatever you get, they're gonna take 20%. The good thing is that 70-some thousand, we earned that much interest on that quarter payment. And so we're still gonna net a little more than what we actually applied for, but it earns interest from the time, that period, to the time you actually get the funding. And so this amount will be paid for by the interest earned on that. So that's a good
it's
good way to look at it.
This is
Yeah.
definitely been a win-win-win. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I entertain a motion to approve requisition 118,449 Sheridan's Wealth Advisors.
I make a motion to approve what you said.
All right.
I'm not gonna try to repeat those numbers.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Who was the second? Mr. Box. Mr. Box.
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson.
yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose.
Yes.
Okay.
And next is Mr. Gray.
And David Gray he came on shortly after Ms. Sharmer. He worked as a controller for NIMI for many years. He has basically kind of helped keep us up on our reconciliations. With the hire of 2 new people in our business office, the goal is to get them trained. Some of them for what Mr. Gray's doing. So my hope is we see the need for his services to pretty much go down to 0 through this year. I don't know exactly when that'll happen, but that's the goal with him.
Well, it was really nice to have him as a
Yes.
consultant the last
Yes.
couple of years. So this would be requisition 118,456. Is any other questions on that? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve David Gray's requisition.
So move David Gray's requisition.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes,
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and Mr. Primrose.
Yes. And this would include the agreement. The what? The agreement?
The
with-
agreement.
Yes.
Elsinore
Elsevier.
Beer. Elsevier.
Only because I've heard Ms. Freeze say it.
Elsevier.
So this is our nursing. I'm not even going to start to explain it. If you have any questions, Ms. Freeze can answer. But basically, it's kind of our curriculum testing support.
So what Elsevier provides to our nursing program is it's basically a specialized learning platform for nursing students. So everything that the nursing students need lives inside Elsevier. Their books, they get ebooks through this system. They get complete testing through this system. What we call HESI testing, which is specialized testing that helps them prepare to take the NCLEX. So they take HESI exams throughout the whole program, and finalizing it at exit HESI, which mimics the NCLEX exam and gives us an idea of how prepared they are to pass their NCLEX exam. It houses all of their assignments, the grade book, all of the things that we need, and it lives inside Canvas. So we are using Canvas, the nursing program is, and so the students can. It's a one click. They get into Canvas and then they just click on what Elsevier calls SurePath, and once they click on that, they can get to everything that they need, their books, their tests, their assignments, their everything that they need, and it all lives in one place, and it's specialized to nursing. So everything they need to learn is housed inside that program. So it's a really important piece of how we're teaching the nurses to be nurses.
Something we definitely need.
Yes.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve requisition for Elsevier.
I'll make a motion to approve the Elsevier requisition.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call please.
Mr. Box,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and Mr. Primrose.
Yes. Right, next is a requisition for a rawhide rodeo with Mr. Johnson.
This did go up a little bit. I think the reason was we're getting a little more help or a little more out of this. Maybe I'm the only one that Ms. Gonzalez told, but that's the reason. It's a little bit higher than it was last year, but they've done a really good job in running the rodeo off. If you've been there the last 2 years, it's pretty much start to finish, very little slowdown, and they're usually done well in time. So that's our recommendation to approve that.
I agree. I think that the way they run their rodeos is very good.
Yeah.
Last couple of years, so.
They're gonna have sheep and goats for the kids.
Well, they not at this one because it's a college rodeo. Now I think they do it like the well, I won't even say because I'm not sure. But the only ones that can compete in this is the college teams like New Mexico State, Arizona, us. Although some of our discussion is how do we showcase this more to our area, because it is a really good competitive rodeo, and I think there are a lot more people around this area that would enjoy it, but it seems like our crowds are not just huge. So that may be something I don't know, have a conversation with the coaches about to see what we could do, to maybe increase, even if it was like a pre-rodeo event or something, to bring more people in. That's a good idea.
You might look at sponsoring or putting on a ranch rodeo.
Yeah.
And you get area teams, from northeastern New Mexico, well, from anywhere in New Mexico and Texas.
Yeah.
That may bring in some people also, but it would play to the area.
Right. Yeah.
I've had those before here.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion on the rodeo requisition? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Um, accept this contract for
Okay.
the rodeo.
But, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, roll call please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next is the requisition for our 24 audit. And this money we've appropriated that from the state.
Yes,
So this isn't our funding.
right. So we kind of urged them to bill us as much as possible before July 1. And so Ms. Trujillo said they could bill up to 95% of the 24 audit. And so we got that bill. We sent it to HED. I think they've already sent the money to us out of that HB2 before it gets sent back. So both that and the special audit are coming out of those HB2 funds. We'll have about, 5%, 4,500 to 5,000 of the 24 audit that'll come out of college funds when we get the final bill.
Any other questions on the 24 audit bill to the state auditor? This is actually, this requisition's for $98,000.
That's the total.
That's the total.
Like, they billed us for 95,000,
Well, yeah, back.
and then when it's done, we'll get the other 4,000 or 5,000 to equal the 98. That's the way it should work.
Right.
I move we approve the 2024 audit requisition.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
I guess I should say, and the motion passed. I haven't been saying that all along.
You
but
did, Mike. You did.
I think Margaret used to say that.
All right, and next is for the special audit, which again, this will be state funded,
Yes.
for $40,200, and we've already approved the special audit, and we're moving on.
Yep.
So if there's any questions, now I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the requisition for the special audit.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. And next is requisition 118,490 for impact winds, fundamentals for 24-25.
So we approved one, you all approved one last month, I think, for around 120-some thousand. We found, I think, 8 students that they hadn't billed us for yet. And so we got that straightened out. And this is to finish up that. And this money is coming out of the workforce funds, the 300,000 that we were given from the state last year. This year we're eligible for 350 or 60,000. And so impact will definitely be a big part of that. We're also hoping to use that for CDL and maybe some CNA training as well. But yeah, that's what that amounts for.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for impact wind training fees.
Make a motion to approve the requisition for impact wind training fees.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next is our July 2025 financial report. Cash is still good. Moving on, and
I intended to put, well, first of all, Miss Aris is out the last couple days, so she's not here to answer any questions. I intended to try to get a proposal to move some funds to CDs. I didn't get that done this month. Hopefully, maybe by September, I'll do that. And, you know, I could see us maybe moving at least 500,000 to CDs, and then kind of see how we're going for the rest of the year, and then maybe move some more after that. Like I said, the cash EFOP report, I can't remember exactly what this one says, but you know, we're up there around 3 million or plus right now, and we're going to pay some of that out, but then we also have some money coming back in, like the nursing, that's going to push that back up. So feel like we're in really great financial shape. And I'll entertain any questions. I know we've talked before about, you know, looking at maybe some more exact progress statements as we go through the year. The plan is we're going to have to get through the 25 audit, and then Miss Arias can start focusing on the budget in Zanzibar, and then we should be able to print out specific reports showing, okay, it's August, where are we at after 2 months of the year compared to the full budget. Miss Sharmer was kind of printing out a broader page like that. She's been out for the last month and a half. Hopefully we get her back and we can get that going again until we get all that other stuff lined out. We're so close. We're so close. But
any other questions on the financial report? Now I'll entertain a motion for July 2025 financial report approval.
I make a motion to approve the July 2025 financial report.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Next is Eastern Plains Council of Government resolution.
So I did not realize that we had to pass this every year, but we do. So we've not been a member the last month and a half, but, and I guess it's because we didn't start it until this past spring. But this is basically the same resolution that you all passed a few months ago. See a lot of value in EPCOG. One thing we will need to do potentially is appoint a backup in case, you know, we have a board member go off that's on there currently, so keep that in mind. But I recommend we approve this resolution.
Well, in this resolution, we have to have we appoint
Oh, your
somebody
point, okay.
and an alternate.
What?
And an alternate?
I think last year, or you appointed me as the representative and then one of you as the alternate.
I think Mr. Sidwell was the alternate. I think we do need to keep Dr. Moss.
Yeah.
And
I move we approve this resolution and appoint Dr. Moss and Tom to represent us.
right.
I'm not planning to run for reelection, so should we, look at somebody else or?
I went to these meetings for 20 years plus, so, I mean, I don't mind going to these meetings. If you want to, change your motion.
Yeah, if we need somebody else has a suggestion, I don't care.
Yeah.
Richard? Okay.
All right, so we have a motion?
Yeah.
Tommy?
Okay, yeah, I'll make the motion.
Yeah. And a second.
Second, yeah, motion is second.
All right. All those, roll call, please.
Mr. Box,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and Mr. Primrose.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we got rid of that page. All right. Next is academic affairs, Mr. Kaiser. Were you sleeping or what?
I was taking a nap over there, guys. I'm gonna try out this new microphone Justin set up. All right. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you have my academic affairs division report for this month. And I just wanted to take a moment to go over some of the work that's being done within the division itself, academic affairs, under the overview. Throughout the summer, there was work to align the academic catalog with New Mexico HED's common and gen ed courses. And it was quite the undertaking of getting all those courses in, approved. And what that means for our students is if you take a gen ed course here, it counts across the entire state of New Mexico, where that gen ed course is already in use at another 2-year, 4-year institution. The common course is the same. If you apply and you're accepted to use a common course, those transfer as a common or an elective or in some cases a unique specialty course. And so all that work had to be done first to shore up our catalog, which I worked with Mr. McVeigh on. And then we had to send that to HED, and they told us, well, you got to redo some stuff here and there. It's minor, but so now that that's in place, we can go into Genzabar and set up what are called degree trees, which is a framework for supporting registration, scheduling, tracking system fees that are attached to courses and programs. So this is kind of the heart of everything academically speaking. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because, there's going to be some hiccups with this process. But for the first time, Ms. Enriquez, who is our academic affairs specialist that has an extensive knowledge of Genzabar, she's building those degree plans in their tree. So what that'll afford us is on the registration side, when a student registers for, let's say, a business degree, they know what classes they're taking for the next 2 years. And then hopefully, Genzabar will turn around and tell us, this is how you're going to program. So we've never had that ability. This has all been done off books and spreadsheets and analog, right? So for the first time, we can actually plan ahead 2 years and have it system-wide. Now, with the degree trees working, our next step in the next week, and my faculty that are going to hear this are probably going to scream at me, we're going to turn in our spring 26 schedule. And we're going to lock it into those trees. And once that's locked in for spring 26, all of their courses that live in the LMS system will populate. So again, we're able to do stuff that we've never been able to do, and it's because of the way the training that we're getting on the Genzabar side, but also our teams we've started to use Genzabar so much that I think we're figuring it out. We're actually catching up for the first time. It's great to see that return. So all of that from that academic catalog, it's very strange how that's the heart of that event. Also, some other things that have been happening, the MOU agreements with dual credit high school institutions. Right now, we have around 9 to 10 institutions that we've partnered with at this time. We're still seeing some enrollment coming in from those in real time. And we haven't seen that in quite a while, so that's really impressive to see that. Again, some of those classes are happening on site at those high schools. Other high schools are enrolling students main campus and online. So it's great to see that kind of enrollment and support from the high schools. Other things that are not on here, and Ms. Freeze mentioned Canvas. So at this time, the nursing program is the first to successfully pilot Canvas, student-wise and faculty-wise. And we did a system check early this week, and we're seeing that any course that is currently being offered main campus and an instructor is assigned, they can actually go in and see that course in Canvas. So that's a good sign. That tells us that the schedule is talking to Canvas and vice versa. Whatever glue that's in there is actually working properly. So that's why we're going to push to get this spring 26 schedule developed so our instructors can get in and start that training for Canvas and even build their courses early. We're notorious here in the past for building courses on the fly, and this gives us a way to be better prepared for the first time. Within the Academic Affairs Division, a major new hire was our Dean of Instruction position, and that's under the accomplishment category. And that was Dr. Stephen Edwards applied, went through the interview process, and the committee selected him for that position. And I can't say enough already, he's already planned out Canvas training. He's kind of in the nuts and bolts of what academics is. So he's built that out. And he's starting to pull data. And I think for you as a board, you'll start to see more data than you've ever seen before, the good and the bad. You know, I hate to throw all this data at you. So the first set of data you'll be looking at in the next board meeting will be student retention reports. And again, student retention is our ability to support students when their grades drop off. How do we turn the student experience around? How do we save the student in their academic journey, whether it's at course level or their entire program? And again, that data has been in the past tracked on spreadsheets and through emails. So it's not easy to pull it down and actually digest it and filter it. And I think for the first time with the help of this retention module and some of the other things that we're doing in Genzabar, we're going to be able to track it and look for those areas of student concerns that we can make a plan on and actually go in and have maybe a student support committee that its job is to take a look at those at-risk students and give them the resources, whether it's tutoring, in some cases, ECMC support and emergency funding to keep them going. So it'll be the first time we can actually step in and act on that data. We're also going to be pulling down data just on grade trends that we've seen in the last year, and that'll tell us a lot about a lot of areas where Our gen ed's actually doing what they're designed to do. Is the rigor there? Is the SLO, the learning outcome, actually being met? Or do we need to make a class level, assignment level adjustment to meet that? So you're gonna start seeing that data more, and we'll kind of space it off. I'm not gonna hit you every month with all this data, but we're gonna start first with the retention reports. And that's overall for the last year and the summer trends. And all that's being developed by Dr. Edwards. I'm so thankful he's on board. We also have a business faculty position. Our committee selected an amazing candidate. He's actually, he's got an accounting background. He's got a master's in business accounting, I believe. He's bilingual, and he has experience with Canvas, our LMS system. So we're real excited, and hopefully the candidate, or not a candidate anymore, our professor will be on campus tomorrow. So we'll get him navigated and into the system. Other things, lots going on. Of course, this is the second day of classes. NMCD courses, correction courses start September 2nd. So we're in the process of moving books and getting instructors prepped up for those courses. It's the general, I call it the general controlled chaos of the start of a semester. It's very chaotic, but there's some sort of sense of control happening there. At least I hope there is. From what I've seen today, we've got a lot of classes that have 8 to 10 or more students. I'm seeing these robust classes, and I haven't seen those kind of enrollment events in quite a while. So I think we're going in the right direction with what we're doing on this campus. And to speak a little bit about workforce, I know earlier we were talking about workforce, and I don't have a workforce item in today's discussion. We submitted a GROW, it was part of the GROW funding about a month ago, and it was a plan of different workforce programs that would utilize HED GROW funding or workforce funding. And we listed CDL, of course, wind technician training, both on campus and in corrections. We also listed phlebotomy and CNA. And with our CNA, or our CDL, the hope in the future, not on this current plan in the next year, but hope is to jumpstart a diesel automotive program to support those semis. And I really think that's going to be a major program once we get that off the ground. I can see that taking off here. And we have a framework and the facilities to support it. It's all there in the C building. So we have that. Of course, welding, the welding program, which our welding instructor, Brian Hughes, is using AWS, American Welding Society, it's called SENSE curriculum, and it prepares students to actually, the books and the practical skills to do the field test. So, and in the certs, I'm not sure what certs that provides them off the top of my head, but I think it's more of the entry level. There's a pull test, there's an L test, and there's some other certs those students will be doing. HVAC and electrician certs. So in that plan, we put together a framework for an apprenticeship within the HVAC area. So as those develop, I'll share those with you and give you guys a heads up of where we think we're going in the next year or so. You talked a little bit about the incentive behind it. I think the incentive lives in our ability to return that data to the state. And what that is for the first time, the state's asking us for more and more reporting more frequently. And they want to know, are your students with these workforce certificates, are they staying in New Mexico? Are they going to work in the region? How much money are they working? Are they investing their family, their livelihood here? And that's that data that the LFC can turn around and digest. So, and I mean, not that Josh and me like to return data every Thursday at 5 o'clock, but that's been happening more frequently this summer than I've ever seen before. But that kind of gives you a little idea, I hope, on. I really think it's our ability to turn around and give those numbers back and the success of those programs and the money. What, you know, at the end of the day, it's what are these funds and monies being used for? If we're giving you this much money, let's see the turnaround. You know, which that's good. We need to be accountable for that.
And I would add to that, the last 2 months, the LFC hearings, especially this last one, that was an agenda topic was so back in 21, 22, they gave out a lot of money for nursing, teaching, and social work endowments. And we received $2 million for our nursing endowment. And they wanted to know what was done with that. And ours was easy. We started a program. We're spending way more than that. And so it barely covers one of our faculty. But what they found was some of the schools, I won't name them, but one of them, their foundation had used some of the earnings for their operations, but hadn't spent any on the faculty, you know, that it was supposed to be for. Some of them had plans, but, you know, or it was used for something else. And so that just builds what they want to know. And so the information they're asking for, and in turn HED is asking for, is just going to get more and more. So.
And I did, before I open up for questions, I wanted to take a moment to thank Ms. Freeze and her adjunct instructors and her full-time instructors. They're amazing. And guys, if you want to see for yourself, stop by and, well, don't interrupt the class.
You can interrupt the class.
Okay. But stop by, check them out. That was a big part of the student experience today on campus. I'm seeing the nursing classes moving back and forth. There's a lot of open instruction where the doors are open. I'm overhearing. So there's a lot of good things happening in nursing right now. And
Yeah, I would actually encourage you, if you want to come and visit the nursing program, because the class periods are, you know, really interesting to listen to. I think our faculty are really dynamic teachers. They're doing a really good job. We have a simulation schedule that I could share with you, so that if you wanted to come by and see an actual simulation in action, it's pretty fun to watch. You know, watch the students interact with the mannequins and everything. So it is fun to see them all, you know, 40 students going down the hall and back and forth in the library. I mean, they're pretty active. It's exciting to have them back on campus.
thank you, Shannon. Well, at this time, I stand for questions. If there's any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Kaiser? Really exciting to know that there's lots of activity and the software is helping.
I think for the first time, instead of it being a headache, I think we're getting ahead of it for the first time.
That's really good news.
Sounds good.
I appreciate everything you do. We do need to approve the new position.
So we were unsure on this, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. We're actually looking at, this is maybe a title we've not had before, and we're going to call it the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, but Mr. Kaiser needs to get back up and explain exactly what this is for. But my view is this is someone who's going to spend more time focusing on workforce, because as you've heard all our conversations, this is where we're going to be growing at. CNA, phlebotomy, welding, CDL, and more. So that's going to be part of the focus, and then I'll let you explain.
So with this position, the Associate Dean of Academic Services, within academics, we support adult ed, corrections, dual credit, now workforce, and then academics, right? And for the longest time, that's just been a handful of us out of my office doing all of this work. And the needs there, not only for the Dean of Academic or the Dean of Instruction to get the rigor where it should be and all the instructional needs, but the Dean of Academic Services, there's so much more to the programming aspect, the systems, actually going in and programming out our systems years in advance, which we're currently doing now. Also, being able to reach out to, on the workforce side, industry partners. And when I say industry partners, we're not only talking about like a trucking company if we're renting trucks for CDL. You also want to have somebody talking to DWS Workforce Solutions or WIOA for funding. Because there might be full funding sitting right here for qualified students. So our ability to just work those channels right now, that extra person will be that point person. At least that's the goal. There'll be other duties as well. And I think we've got the list of,
Yeah, he has lots of duties.
it's a lot of duties there.
Looks full-time.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
And what I see is a lot of these will be refined with this position, and where they have strengths in one area, we might push some of the other areas off, such as community ed support later on for somebody that can better support community ed. But at this time, your workforce person would be supporting every single one of those workforce programs we discussed earlier. And right now, at the end of the day, I wish I could be in the mix of all of those, but it's just not feasible for me or even that Dean of Instruction position.
A lot of work.
He'll still be doing the HLC and stuff, isn't he?
So the Dean of Instruction will focus on HLC and those accreditation needs. The Associate Dean of Academic Services will gather the data because they have better access to all those data points, enrollment data. They can grab at that, systems data, where the Dean of Instruction can filter it, put it all into the same verbiage, and then respond back. So they'll work hand in hand is what's going to happen.
Dean of Instruction will also be, I think, working on program about reviews and assessment and some of those things that tie in with academics.
More at the faculty ground level,
Yeah.
where this person is a different overview of systems. It's more of a systems overview person. Not to say that they won't be talking to our workforce teams and even, working with Shannon on the CNA and the phlebotomy coming up, pulling down those funds and working on those IAT grants as well.
Good, big job. Any other questions about the Associate Dean of Academic Services job title? If not, I entertain a motion to approve the new position.
I'll make a motion to approve I'll make a motion to approve.
Associate Dean of Academics.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Next, Mr. McVeigh.
you some of the things that I did want to highlight that we were talking about earlier with Genzabar. As we've been utilizing Genzabar more, it's given us more accurate numbers. We've been working on the SQL coding on the back end. So that coding actually helps us to pull the data. And again, depending on what you pull. So let's say, for instance, you have a student who somehow was overlooked that they didn't put in the high school or the high school location. What happens then is they don't get pulled because it's not a complete data set. So information like that might be missing from the student, if you're pulling enrollment data and you don't have the high school or its location, or just the location itself is missing, it won't pull that student. So you're gonna lose that student in your enrollment data. So what we've been doing is we're able to utilize each one of those pieces of information to know exactly what we need to pull, which is based on the ED report, which is given to us by HED. So it's basically there's a manual that tells us exactly what information they're wanting to have based on each student. And so then we're able to build our SQL query based on the data that they want us to pull. So then from that, we're able to conclude that we need to have these fields when we're filling it out. So on the user side, you have student information, and then you're going to have tabs at the top, whether that's address, degree, whatever it might be. But we know clearly what each of the fields we need to fill out is attached to in our reporting. So not only are we utilizing the software efficiently, we're also able to understand exactly how it connects to our data. Another example would be the directory for our faculty and staff, which is located on our website. That actually is a pull from our Genzabar system. So HR, human resources, when they hire an individual, you have a PCN, which is entered to say this person needs a computer, they need an office, they need a phone number, they need all this email address, password, all these things. So when they create that employee through the PCN, it's created in Genzabar. When Genzabar then creates that person, first name, last name, what their position title is, where they're at, that data is pushed over to our website because it's pulled through a query and then put into an HTML form that tells them, that then fills out that form so that it gives that information for the directory. So when someone says, if they call Yvonne or myself and say, the directory is incorrect, you need to correct it. Well, that's HR. So call HR, don't call the web people, because all we do is set up the box for the HTML that pulls the information. So I'm giving this as an example of how all of the data connects across Genzabar. Our ERP system essentially manages all these things. And it goes into the business office with payroll, it goes into billing for our students. Another example is that if we don't have the students recorded correctly, so classes, if we send a student for a class, when that class is built, it's built with fees that are associated with the class. It's built with the scheduling that the class has to have. It's built with where that class fits in the degree program plan, which is called the learning tree, or the trees. And so all that information is that one class. And then, of course, you have the syllabi, the textbook, the descriptions, the learning outcomes, all those things are that one class. But it's associated with the learning tree, which is our program here. So if I put that one class on that student schedule, all those fees, all the costs, all the tuition, all of that comes over to that student. But if it's not done correctly on the back end, and the fees aren't correctly assessed for each class individually, and we have over 185 classes that we're currently teaching for this school year, then you don't get the correct charges. And so then the billing office doesn't know what to charge the student. And so then the student comes in and they're going to get their check for their reimbursement, and they get a full reimbursement because we didn't charge them for their class. So I'm just giving that as an example, hopefully, to help us better understand every area in the college has to be accurate and correct in order for us to correctly bill and assess what our budget looks like and how much money we have available. So in the past, whenever corners were cut, thinking, well, I can let the student be a student without getting the high school address, right? Well, that's the first domino in a whole lot of bad information. And that ends up affecting our enrollment numbers, our FTE, which is full-time equivalency for our credit hours, and then that affects our funding. And so at the end of the day, then you're losing funding because you're not being complete and accurate in how you're filling it out. So kind of a crash course in how that all connects and how that works. But what we're doing now, as I say, we're between 70 and 80% proficiency, is that we're able to see what data fields need to be completed accurately and correctly. And then also, as we're pulling old data coming back, so say a student was a dual student and they've come back to college and now they want to take college classes, we're pulling that student information, right? But at that time, they weren't fully using the ERP system, so they had paper documentation. So we have to go grab their paper file out of the filing vault, right? And we have to add that information in there. Now, if you have someone that's advising the student and doesn't, realize that information is not included into that file back in 2012, 14, 15, whatever it might be, again, you have inaccurate data. When we go to pull it for the EDIR report, it's not going to pull that student because corners were cut at that time, and somebody thought, well, hey, it's just an address, not a big deal. But it doesn't get pulled into our enrollment. So now we've enrolled the student, but they're not going to be counted because it wasn't complete. So again, when we're training our people in advising and in registration and admissions and enrollment, we make sure that it's complete and accurate so that we can have complete and accurate numbers. And as we're doing this, we're having greater numbers than we have in the past because a lot of people were left out previously, so our enrollment's far more accurate. An example of that too, we just pulled EDIR report for our degree file, which is our completion file. And so some good news is that in 24, that number hit 395. So that's 395 certificates and degrees and completions that we have. So that is a very big number, and it's a really great number for us to have. It's very exciting. So whenever I say there's graduation, at graduation we had 50-some graduates, or we had 62 graduates at that time. You're not looking at all the degrees and certificates that are associated with each student, and there's more than that. Actually, not just those that walked, but there's also others that completed, and so we want to make sure we count all of those. And so we got to 394 or 95 in that area. So the report came through. So that's what student services, what we're working on in admissions and enrollment, financial aid. That's how the ERP system connects and how it's all brought together. Again, there's a lot of information that's in the report itself. There's not a lot of information that's been put here, but it's kind of highlighting because we're moving into a new school year, new semester. And so we've been registering students like crazy. We've been working with financial aid. We've been taking students on tours. We've been extremely busy with last week was Stampede Day, and of course we have orientation this Thursday as well. We've got a new game for orientation, which is called the Great Game, and it's through QR codes. So there's some flyers that are up around the college, and there's a QR code on orientation or for 2 weeks after orientation. You'll be able to scan the QR code, and it downloads an app. And we have different places mapped out on campus, and it's a mystery game to help the students learn about Mesalands Community College. And so PD, our mascot, something's happened or there's a mystery that has to be solved, and so they can form teams of up to 8, and they all use it. And then you say we're in the room here, and they're like, in order to find the next clue, it's going to be on the wall. So one person's phone might show certain letters on the wall as you look around. Another person's phone shows other letters on the wall. So the students have to put those pieces of the puzzle together in order to solve it to get the clues to the next location. And so they move across all these locations. Once the students complete all these locations, which includes the Dinosaur Museum, includes the Odeon Theater, because of course students can go there and watch movies, then they can actually take a password down to the bookstore and they'll get a t-shirt. And so it's a nice reward at the very end. And they've gone through the whole orientation and learned everything about the college and what we're about. So really fun game. So it should be a good time. We're excited to see how that turns out for our orientation. Again, we've had tours going on. We've got 17 athletes that have signed with Rodeo. This is before I talked to Coach. I don't know if today, he said he had 2 that he was hoping to sign, so it may be at 19, but 17 at the time that I did write, that this report was written, that Jessica gave me these numbers. October 10th and 11th is going to be our home rodeo. So again, a lot of information here. I don't want to be too repetitive. You can see from our marketing report as well that where our followers are, the digital marketing that Yvonne has been doing. He's put this part of the report together, some of the stuff that he's been working on with dual enrollment and high school equivalency. We've been, of course, a lot of services that we offer, t-shirts that he's been working on and designing, as well as the website transfer. We're hoping to have the website completed by the end of next week for the new website that we have designed. And it should be really impressive to look at. We're really excited about the new opportunities that the website's going to give us. So it's not on WordPress; it's actually with Aptigee, so it's a different organization. A lot of schools are utilizing them, and simplifies the navigation, as well as is in ADA compliance, which is very important. And for further reasons regarding communication, we can actually text, email, and communicate through social media all through the website at one time. So there's a lot of added benefits to utilizing this website, this company. So those are some things I just wanted to highlight and help us understand a little bit more. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
That's, like I said again, great to have the technology. I understand garbage in, garbage out. You have to make sure
That's right, exactly. You have to make sure it's complete and accurate.
Accurate to start with, but that's in the future, that's really gonna help staff and faculty, I think.
Absolutely, and what we're going to add on there, retention as well. So there's another module, Dr. Moss talked about the retention module that we'll be adding on as well. So that we're very excited about that also. And then the advising module, we will utilize it more. So going into January, they're going to have an update for advising, where hopefully faculty and those that advise students will actually have access to our online portal so that they can see all of the students' information, not just the agenda of our desktop, but it's going to be a more user-friendly experience, and so they can actually see what their transcripts look like, what classes that they have taken in the past, all the information about the student, and they can make notes on each student, help the student on their program or pathway. You can select the pathway, see all the classes of the pathway, help the student to complete their progress as they go through. So we're really excited about what that's going to help our advisors accomplish through our mobile app that'll be updated in January. Plus, we're going to do the retention, which retention is going to help us keep track of what careers our graduates are going into, how many of them have gotten jobs, how many of them are successfully been in those jobs for 3 to 5 years. And as we mentioned earlier, LFC really wanted to monitor what that looks like. Are they still in the state of New Mexico? Did they go out of state? How many out-of-state students came in and stayed in the state? So all these different numbers that they're really wanting to take a look at and look in more detail at, we have to have the information in order to be able to communicate it correctly. So again, those are all added features that we're going to be adding to Ginzabar. So very excited about all that.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good.
Any other questions for Mr. McLeod?
I'll just make a comment. The TV ad on Channel 10,
Yes.
KFDA in
Yes.
Amarillo
Yes.
is very sharp, really
Okay.
good. I like it.
Thank you. Yvonne worked with Channel 10 on that, and they came down and did
Come out real
footage.
good.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll pass it on to Yvonne. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. McVeigh? If not, we'll go to approval of the student handbook.
Mr. McVeigh, you might as well stay up.
Okay, yep. That's all right.
So just kind of introduction, I don't know when the last time we've approved a student handbook.
I think it's on the second page. I kept track there in November. Was it 17, 18, 19?
November 24th.
2024.
There, right there. So what's the last one there? 2020, actually. So the updates are things that I worked on. So it says updated. I've been working on updating it since 23, trying to get it updated and completed. But really, the approval has happened July 2020 was the last time it was approved.
I see.
Were there any major changes?
There weren't really major changes that were in there. It's updating. So the opening letter, I changed that. Policies are not really anything that's changed in the policy. It's consistent with our catalog. So all the catalog are the same. They have to match. So those are basically the same things. Really, there wasn't a whole lot that had to be changed. The calendar was changed, of course, to update that. But it's all been pretty much the same.
The only thing I saw is under the sports, I didn't see anything on esports.
Okay, I probably overlooked that, and I need to add that.
That's all I.
That would need to be added, and I overlooked it.
In the future, when we're looking at these handbooks and so forth,
Okay.
could we possibly get what I know is a red-lined edition
Okay.
to look at
That's-
that
that's
shows
what
the
I was-
changes
Where the
and so
changes are
forth
at?
Yeah, that was.
prior to approving them?
Okay.
I
Yes.
think that would be real helpful,
Yeah,
or
'cause
for me it
I-
would be.
read it, but I thought, well, has that,
Or
you
is
know,
that what it was
except for
last
the-
time?
Except for the calendars and things
Right,
like
has it
that.
changed and what's changed? Okay, yes, that makes sense. I should have done that.
And,
Absolutely.
and our goal, not just with student handbook, but like I said, on the personnel,
Yeah, all of
the
them.
administrative,
Oh,
we'd like to start that much earlier in the year and get those done before we, much sooner than what we've been doing, where you all have a chance to, look over those longer.
yeah.
So, and I think we have some other handbooks too that we may
Yeah.
add to that list. So, and yeah, definitely we want the changes to be evident.
And I'm not asking for any policy changes. There aren't any policy changes within the handbook itself. Like I said, it's all matches the catalog also.
Yeah.
So as far as policy goes, there weren't any changes. It's just updating information to make it accurate and correct for what we have now.
I've got a couple of comments.
Okay.
On page 2, penalties for academic dishonesty.
Yes.
So, the paragraph, a student found to have committed an act of academic dishonesty. No, wait a minute, where am I? Oh, the second one. A student caught in the act of academic dishonesty of an assignment or exam shall, at the discretion of the instructor. That's contradictory right there, those two statements, because shall
Okay.
is mandatory. So something that's mandatory, you really can't have at the discretion of the instructor.
I think the intent that I understood from there is supposed to be it's at the instructor's discretion as to how they want to handle it. So if an instructor, and I'm saying we can change it so that it reflects this, if you agree with this.
Yeah, because shall and may are completely different.
Okay.
You can change shall to may. It may, at the discretion of the instructor. Of 35 years of dealing with the federal government on statute and you learn there's a big difference between shall and may.
Yes.
So that's one place. Another one, I had this marked in red and I don't know what happened, but if I remember right, it was sexual harassment.
Okay.
And I don't know where that was at.
Josh, I think when we get into the instructor level, we're drilling down on an SOP for the instructors that we'll probably need to better develop on how they elevate that and document it. Because I'm not sure on our side.
Is that page
on that side how that's
47?
Is it your faculty handbook or is it in a catalog?
I'll need to sync it to the faculty handbook to this outcome.
Because the catalog also matches this. So the catalog is and the faculty handbook.
All three will-
Yeah, they're all supposed to say the same thing.
46, page 46 under, it's 6.6.1.14.1. Sexual harassment, anyway, it lists that the investigation will be immediately referred to Dr. Aaron Kennedy.
Uh-oh.
So,
Doggone.
That should be Mr. Josh McVeigh.
Yeah.
Been here for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't
missed
catch
it.
that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
You're good.
Really? Yeah.
And so the next section, point 15, where you have here, the Vice President of Student Services must be notified and shown proof of a concealed weapon permit. And so my understanding is, and looking at the law of concealed carry, is there's no guns or anything like that is allowed on campus, with the exception of somebody over 19 years old who has a gun in their vehicle.
Right.
So I don't think that a concealed carry permittee could even come on the university
right.
grounds, so that should go out.
So really, you're kind of saying, what's the reason for that statement in there? Yeah.
Yeah. Should,
Yeah,
not applicable.
Because the
It's not
only people
applicable,
who are allowed would be members of law enforcement in their line of duty, or if, I've given approval to someone to carry, but that wouldn't be applicable to any students or staff.
So I believe that statement is in there from the time where we supported police officer training in some capacity, where they were actually coming on campus and taking, whether in uniform or not in uniform. So I think that's a remnant artifact of that time.
when I looked at the concealed carry statute, it definitely said no weapons allowed at all on the university, with the exception of law enforcement, security. I believe I remember seeing
SRO
that.
or something.
And then a person 19 years of age or older with a weapon or a handgun in their vehicle. So, but that, I didn't see the purpose of that one. So that's all I've got.
That's really good. Thank you. That's very thorough. Appreciate that.
Hey Josh, and I just got it too, the directory as well, just the bookstore and the business office now that they're located in different buildings. Just so we have that for some of the detail.
You have to go look at it.
75. So there's a few, I just review that whole page and update it more.
The bookstore and the business office?
Which one just found?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll just need to run down, since we moved around so many support areas, Josh.
Yeah.
On the academic side, some of those are still located in one building.
Of course, we might wait, we might need to move everybody again.
Maybe not.
One thing I said at the step, I thought I did, I meant to, is I don't think we're planning on any moves this year. I think we're pretty settled.
And Josh, one other that I remember seeing here is under the clubs, wind energy, I forget the name of it, Wind Energy Club. So if we're gonna have solar, training in solar, would it be better to just change the name of that club to renewable energy or something like that?
Yeah, we could do that. I know with the clubs, what we usually do is, so the clubs are made available as students have requested them, and then we maintain the records of that. So the way to create a club is you have to have a student, and you also have to have a representative faculty member that would support it as well. And then they can create that club as far as building its structure, its leadership. And so, but yeah, I think those that would be a part of that. Currently, changing that would probably be fine. We just have to probably take a vote as a club and come to that conclusion.
Yeah, there's a lot of different clubs that you could put in that renewable energy instead of just the wind, geothermal and hydro and so forth. Not that we're ever going to do that, but the possibility is there.
hot air club, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
that.
and make a bigger club.
Okay, is there any other questions for, about the handbook for Mr. McVeigh? If not, I'll stand for a motion to approve with the changes that we,
I'll make a motion that we approve the student handbook, including the changes that we discussed.
have a second?
Second.
Hang on a second, I wasn't paying attention.
You forgot your second job.
I was first.
Tom made a motion.
Okay. And who seconded?
Teresa.
Okay. Okay,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'll start off with the monthly report first. I have an update on the insurance projects, specifically in Building E. I was able to meet with the contractor on site and approve the metal, the color of the metal for the bay area, and we got that approved as well as the flooring. There's some flooring that was damaged due to the water damage in the locker room area, and both of those two items have been selected by the college, and now we're just awaiting scheduling for the repairs to the bay area as well as the classrooms, the restroom area, the boardroom over there. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. Right before this meeting, actually, I received an update from the contractor stating that they'd like to be here by August 28th to start working on mold remediation in the bay area on the far west side wall, as well as the mold remediation to the office space there that's been closed off for quite some time. So we're moving forward with that. I'll coordinate with our local instructors to make sure they're not being disrupted with anything within their classes that are going on, as well as with Impact Wind, to make sure scheduling works for them. I have allowed them to go ahead and work on Fridays, knowing that the college is closed on Fridays. Impact Wind is typically working on Fridays, training their employees and students as well. But again, I've already coordinated on the scheduling up to the end of the month. But I believe with the scope of work that needs to be conducted, that this will run well into September, if not further. So that's an update with that. All of the BR&R funds that the drawdowns that were submitted at the end of the fiscal year, all of those funds have now been received. And also wanted to update y'all on the summer hearing. Dr. Moss and I went to New Mexico Military Institute and presented two projects. One for the repower of the wind turbine and another project for the heating and cooling improvements to Building D. Next, I'll cover some of the items and things going on in the business office. One of the major things that's been taking quite a bit of time within the last 2-3 weeks is, as Dr. Moss has stated, we went out for RFP for financial support services. That's successful. That'll be the next agenda item I'll go over and go into detail with that. Also, I was thankful the 2 vacant positions we had at the business office. I sat in on those interviews. Interviews went well, and we were lucky enough to receive 2 applicants to fill those positions. Both accepted those positions. One started today, Natalie Gallegos, and the other will start the day after Labor Day, September 2nd, and that is Caitlin Preciado. Both of those will be a great addition to the business office. The custodian position has also been filled. He's been working for a little bit now, but it's welcoming back Ruben Vincones. He worked with us when I first got here at the college, and thankful for him to come back. I think that speaks highly on where we've come from as a college and where we're going to see those improvements that former employees are wanting to come back and be employed from the college. So I'm happy to announce that. In the IT department, we've received applications for the vacant position we have in the IT department. Interviews will be conducted soon. And it looks like we have a few great applicants for that as well, so we're hoping to fill that position, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, getting the interviews conducted, and then get that filled as soon as possible. And I'll leave it at that. I'll stand for any questions from the monthly report.
Any questions for Mr. Martinez? If not, thank you, and we'll go on to the request for approval, recommendation of the Evaluating Committee for Financial Support Services.
Yes, thank you. So again, this was a long process. It's a lot of work that goes into a request for proposal. We were able to turn it around quite quickly. I am happy to announce that we did receive 2 responsive proposals. An evaluation committee consisting of 3 members scored the proposals based on the criteria shown on the screen. There's 15 points awarded for, if a perfect score would be 100 points, and then 5 additional points if they provided their New Mexico resident certificate for their business. But again, those points are based on a possibility of a perfect score. So a summary of the proposed services: a perfect score would have received 15 points. New Mexico higher ed experience would receive 20 points. Company experience, 10 points. Company references, 10 points. Proposed personnel experience and qualifications, 15 points. And then the cost presented is 30 points. And again, so perfect score would be 100 points with 5 extra bonus points if they are a New Mexico resident-owned business and provided their certificate. So now, it's public knowledge, we're able to share with y'all that the 2 proposers were Clifton Larson Allen and True Business Solutions LLC. That table breaks down for you exactly how they were ranked per member. There are 3 members, and then we have the total points that were received, an average, and then based on all of that criteria, the evaluation committee selected True Business Solutions LLC as the most advantageous to Mesalands Community College. So at this time, I stand for any questions in regards to the proposals themselves. If not, I respectfully ask for your acceptance of the recommendation by the committee.
Any questions for Mr. Martinez on the evaluations and the recommendation? If not, it's not we do need an action item. Are there any questions? I'll stand for motion to approve this recommendation from the Evaluation Committee, the True Business Solutions.
I move that we go with the recommendation committee for True Business Solutions.
I second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. And next on the agenda would be approval of the contract agreement with True Business Solutions. Is that contract in our packet?
It was not, and the reason behind the contract not being in the packet, all of this information is confidential until the point that the board accepts the recommendation from the committee. But I will go over the high points. I can tell you right now, the independent contractor agreement has gone back and forth during negotiations. I coordinated that between Ms. Judy Sharma from True Business Solutions and our attorney, Mr. Jared Najjar. And we feel that this contract has met all the expectations of the college as well as True Business Solutions. It went before the attorney, like I said, to make sure all the legal language is there where we need it to be, in the best effort to make sure the Educational Retirement Board is on an acceptance of this agreement as well. So the next steps would be to approve this. through the board, have Dr. Moss sign it. I then route it to Ms. Sharmer to sign on behalf of True Business Solutions. And then at that point, they package it together, and along with a memo from Dr. Moss would go over to the Educational Retirement Board in an effort to get this moved forward as quickly as possible. I'll share some high points of the contract. This contract would be effective immediately from the date of the signing, which would be today, and acceptance of ERB whenever they choose to sign off on it, if they do so.
Is there a way to send that to Jonathan to put it on the board where they could look at it as you go through it?
Yes, I can actually. What would be the easiest way to share it, Justin?
You got my email?
Can you put it from there?
Yeah.
I will do that.
I would feel better if
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
y'all could look at it.
If we're going to,
I haven't seen it yet,
Approve it.
but I'd prefer look at it before you approve it. I mean, I've seen the back and forth, but and I would add, we utilize Dina Holcomb's law firm for some personnel things, but this other one that we've started using this year has been very good at being responsive to different things, like the contract. The responses we would get from Ms. Holcomb were not always helpful, but so far I've been really impressed with this new group. So
Great.
One second, almost. I just want to make sure that it's the appropriate version because, like I said, we went back 2 or 3 times just to make sure all the language was correct.
I gotta have a little bit of caffeine.
All right, send it right now. So we wait for that to get up on the screen. So again, I'll hit a few of the high points real quick. The first, that this is an annual contract based on the fiscal year, so it would go into effect the date of all signatures that are received, and that would last through the end of the fiscal year, which would be June 30th of 2026, with the option to renewal 3 consecutive years after that, understanding that each year's a new contract, a year at a time. And that's just to make sure we fall within procurement. The other thing is that this contract shall not exceed $64,895.25. And this contract is different from what we've had with her in the past, where it was a lump sum that was paid out monthly. This is going to be billed on an hourly rate with detailed billing each month, with a turnaround time of 10 business days for payment. And then the scope set forth within here, the scope's going to be based on what the RFP requested when we sent out for proposal. So that's going to be to collaborate with the Director of Finance to develop a comprehensive and compliant institutional budget. Deliverables include the report of actuals, budget adjustment request, and institutional budget for FY 26-27. We'll provide comprehensive training and coaching for the Director of Finance. We'll provide full support for audits conducted by the New Mexico Office of the State Auditor and independent auditors in collaboration with the CFO. They will also collaborate with the president for the preparation of the IPEDS and HLC and the New Mexico Department of Finance. We'll maintain regular proactive communication with the higher ed department as well as Mesalands Community College staff. That's the main scope of this contract. There's tons of legal language in there. I'm trying to see if there's any high points throughout this.
And this is with Mrs. Schumer, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
huge.
Which has done a great job.
And then again, the compensation rate, as I stated earlier, instead of a flat contract, there's no guaranteed funds through this contract. It's based on the scope of work that we're proposing. It'll be billable hourly rates, and the hourly rate will be $235 per hour, with and not to exceed amount again. So no matter what happens, the amount cannot exceed that $64,895.25 plus GRT. So again, this is structured a bit different than the contract in the past. And then she also has listed out, based on her RFP or proposal, when you have these RFPs, you have to grade the technical portion of it independently from the cost. You can't take that into account. You score them on the cost, but it's two separate proposals that you review at different times. And so these are some of the additional expenses that could come up. Instead of just the billable hourly rates, you have mileage. And this was negotiated, this was all based on New Mexico's per diem rates that are approved by the Department of Finance Authority. We negotiated on this where I lowered in one and it was higher in the other areas. So the overnight per diem was 180 per night. I think she was requesting a little bit less. And then the per diem per day, I think, was less than what she was proposing for just a day trip. So it kind of washed out, it balanced out, but it makes it easier for tracking purposes if it follows state statute for the typical per diem rates. And there's also costs that are associated if we requested hard copies to be delivered, 10 cents per page. And then the standard 67 cents per mile, that's also based on the current New Mexico mileage rate. It breaks down the taxes, the responsibility, it's a responsibility of the vendor to pay the taxes. Legal language where we don't provide vehicles and things of that nature to the contractor, as True Business Solutions is an independent contractor. Going over the term, this is what I stated earlier, that it just goes through the end of the fiscal year with the opportunity for consecutive renewals afterwards. It's typical state boilerplate contract language for termination that either side could choose to ask for a termination of the contract with at least 30 days written notice. Section 6 goes over the independent contractor status. Again, that they are independent contractors, that they are not employees of the college, they are not eligible for benefits such as retirement, such as health benefits, anything of that nature that a standard employee of the college would be eligible for. Section 7, amendments. No amendments could be made to this contract other than approved by both parties, and that would create an addendum or an amendment which would have to go through the board for approval as well. Confidentiality and return of information, that's just making sure that no information either way is being shared without prior permission by either party. Indemnification, typical indemnification clause about liability. Any kind of mergers, if this business was to be bought out by a larger company or somebody else, that's nobody's obligated to go through the same agreements with a new, if there was a merger of some sort. Assignment and partnership, the contractor shall not assign, delegate, subcontract any rights or obligations or transfer any interest in this agreement. Records, the contractor should maintain the detailed records for at least 3 years from the date of final payment under this agreement. That's gonna be based on records retention type information. Liability, each party shall be solely responsible for fiscal or other sanctions occasioned as a result of its own violation or alleged violation or requirements applicable to the performance of the agreement. Again, standard language. Waiver, the waiver by either party of a breach of any provision of this agreement shall not operate as a waiver of a breach of any other provision of this agreement by such party. Enforcement of the agreement. Parties failure to require strict performance of any provision of this agreement shall not waive or diminish that party's right thereafter. Product of services, copyright, and port use. Nothing developed or produced in whole or in part by the contractor under this agreement shall be the subject of an application or copyright by or on behalf of the contractor. The client and the contractor may post any pertinent reports on the respective websites. Conflict of interest. Just stating that the contractor currently has no conflict of interest. Applicable law. This is another one that's important to me that I like to make sure is in the favor of the college. We negotiated this based on the attorney's recommendation and talked to Judy about it, that originally it was recommended in the county of Chavez, where Ms. Sharma resides. I requested that that be changed to Quay County if there were to be any kind of lawsuits that were to arise. Client's book and records just states that the client is responsible for maintaining control of all books and records at all times, and it allows us as the clients to review them upon recommendation. I believe that was added by request of the attorney. Appropriations, this is again standard language, that if for some reason we were not to receive appropriation as the college, we would be able to terminate the contract based on that information. Basic penalties for violation of law language, equal opportunity compliance language, designated on-site staff. In the RFP, we requested to know who exactly was going to be the on-site staff, who would be working with directly, and that would be Ms. Judy Sharma, and that is her CPA license number. Again, more standard boilerplate language. Contact information for both parties. These will be the direct contacts based on this contract. It does not mean that they will not communicate with others if they needed to or within the scope of work. These are the two main contacts. That's Dr. Moss and Ms. Judy Sharma. And that is all. At this point, I send for any questions concerning the agreement. Again, it's been approved by both sides as far as verbally and in writing in the email. All we lack now is the board's approval of this, Dr. Moss's signature, and then I will route this for electronic signature as soon as we finish this meeting, and in an effort to streamline this and get Ms. Judy Sharma working with us again, hopefully in the near future as soon as possible.
Any questions for Mr. Martinez? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this contract.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call?
Mr. Box.
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose.
Yes.
Thank you, I appreciate
All
it.
right. Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. The reports from the governing senates will be start like soon.
And I would make a mention, I think Dr. Axel Hungelbuehler is the new faculty senate president, so he'll be starting that reporting instead of Ms. Griffiths. And is Dean still the staff, or have they decided that?
Dean Garcia is still the staff.
So he'll be back for that. So.
Are there any comments from the trustees?
Keep her going.
Keep going. All right, next I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Also move, go into executive session.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Who,
For, entertain a motion to reconvene from executive session.
I shall move. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes. Those correspondence, important dates, September 1st is Labor Day, it'll be closed. September 22nd through 23rd is HLC visit. And STTC Legislative Committee.
Yeah, so that,
They're gonna have
they'll be in the great room, that committee. And the plan is to have HLC in this one, and then they can use this other conference room next door if they need two different meeting places at once.
And you'll let us invite or whatever about for that dinner?
Yeah, I'll send you, as soon as they send us the
Information.
schedule.
the
Okay,
22nd.
the 22nd,
Yeah, and I think
but you
Ms.
don't know
Gonzalez and Dr. Edwards were gonna set that up at Lasitas.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure the date of that is September 22nd, Monday. And I think, I got an email right before the board meeting, if I read it correctly, they'd like to maybe meet with the finance committee. You know, you, Mr. Primrose, Ms. Stevenson, me, Mark, Ms. Arias, right before your dinner, to talk about the audit and finance committees.
All right. And are we, September, you said something like 9th and 10th?
Yeah, September 9th or 11th. So the RPSP has to be in by September 15th. But we're a ways from getting that done. So if possible, I'd like to maybe schedule a special meeting. I'd say September 9th, if that's possible. You don't have to approve anything, we'll just send it out, and that, right now, that'd be the only thing, is just to approve the RPSP for submission to HED and the legislature.
Okay. That's fine.
September the what?
9th,
Okay.
We could,
and it might,
So it'd be a Tuesday?
okay.
and then also remember September 8th and 9th is when we are planning to do that mock HLC visit, so there might be some time in there, but I'll send you the information and dates as soon as I get it.
All right. And our next regular meeting, it would be the September 16th. And I don't really have any, training, but we look at Dr. Edwards' email about getting ready for the HLC, the assurance filing. In his email, he specifically gives us page numbers for the board to look at, so that, so if you look at Dr. Edwards' email, the board should consider reviewing pages 21 through 37, and then also pages 73 through 88. You don't have to, or don't want to look at all of them, but
What was the other two? 72 or
73 to 88. Anyway, if we
board?
try to get familiar with that assurance agreement so that we can answer HLC's questions.
What's the date of his email?
It's today, I think.
Oh,
Was it
okay.
today?
Today.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's today.
So that's all I have.
One other thing while I'm thinking of it, let's see. September or August 28th is the day, is it August 28th when the candidate filing?
Yes, it's August 28th.
So if you know anybody
So
running
26th?
for the board,
Tuesday,
So you said your number.
Tuesday 26th.
Who's up for that?
It's two.
Jimmy's
Jimmy
position
and
and Tom's position.
so just
we need to-
Yeah. Anybody interested?
That's 4 and 2? No, what are your positions? At your
I think
district?
I'm 5.
5
Didn't it, Richard?
or
District 5?
4?
I thought it.
I thought it was.
Maybe it's 4.
I thought it
I
was
thought it was
4,
4
but
and 2.
4 and 2.
Two.
You're 2, huh? Yeah. I think it's 4.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think maybe it is.
and they have to do some kind of training or something before they file, right?
Yeah, I think.
Complete a slideshow and campaign finance
New Mexico
reporting.
campaign finance reporting.
Yeah.
That's right away. So it's the 26th.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
26th?
All right. Anything else? I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So maybe.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Box?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson? Mr. Sandoval?
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose?
Yes.